That was weird. Whoa.
In front of.
What the?
The first video tonight comes from Hator Visuals, a UK-based YouTube channel run by videographer and photographer Hator Pereira. His content focuses on cinematic travel and adventure, often featuring hikes, bothy stays, wild camping, and remote landscapes across the UK and beyond. With drones and cinematic camera work, Hator creates immersive storytelling experiences. It is November 19th, 2024, when Hator and his friends traveled into Snowdonia National Park, North Wales, UK, for an overnight stay at Dulyn Bothy, a remote mountain shelter near Llyn Dulyn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've got an actual stove there. What do you expect?
Put it like that, pour some water.
What are you doing? Just doing warm around?
Yeah.
What is it? Chicken?
It's chicken burrito. I mean, I could chuck it in there. While Sophie's eating her cold burritos, I'm warming mine up in the fire. We don't eat cold food out here. I'm cooking my burrito. Time to try the burrito. Oh, it is warm. Oh, look at that. Look at the steam coming out.
Oh, we're doing a spot there.
Can you smell the burrito, Luna? It's nice and warm. Warm chicken burrito. You can see the steam.
Yeah.
Took 3 bothies for you to actually get to do this.
5.
Well, you did burn in a candle.
That counts.
Nope.
I feel for that one.
Surrounded by the glow of the fire, we spent hours chatting, snacking and playing games until another group of students arrived, bringing fresh energy to the cosy bothy night. But little did we know, a mysterious, unsettling creepiness were lurking by the bothy. Are you scared now? No? Surely, let's see the
I was
picture.
in the house and I walked downstairs to fill up water. She's like, keep talking to me, keep talking to me.
Yeah, I was like,
I need to know you're still
By nightfall, the bothy was alive with voices. The group cooked, warmed themselves by the fire, and played games alongside other visitors who had arrived. Wrapped in the glow of firelight, it felt like a carefree evening of food and laughter, until the mood began to change.
Don't that look like a little goblin devil looking out the window? Well, door.
Yeah, it looks like a little goblin, doesn't it?
Like if I turn the light down.
Hey, we are
look
in
at
all-
that.
It is
Looks
Lord
like
of the
eyes.
Rings. We're living in all the
I don't
rings.
like that.
So can you explain again what you just found out about this bothy since we've seen that picture?
Well, just
According to ChatGPT, go on.
According to ChatGPT, right, the eerie atmosphere around Llyn Dulyn has inspired numerous ghost stories over the years. Locals say that the lake is haunted and claim that sightings of strange lights and figures around the bothy are common.
Oh my god.
Particularly on misty evenings. Some say these lights are will-o'-the-wisps, spirits that lure travellers to the lake's dangerous waters. So yeah, there's quite a few things.
And you guys want to go up there now?
Right, we're going up there in a
After
minute.
As ghost stories of Dulyn Lake filled the room, a face suddenly appeared at the window. Goblin-like and startling, it froze the group in place. Their laughter gave way to uneasy whispers as the firelight flickered against the bothy walls.
We were at Pendle Hill a few days ago, so why not?
Yeah.
Luna, literally before it happened, she was running around like being a normal dog. Now, she won't leave us. Well, look on the bright side, there is like 20 of us here.
Exactly.
People camping outside. If people are going to go, it's not going to be us.
Seen the lake monster.
Cameraman never dies.
Cameraman never dies. If you guys been watching my channel, you know cameraman never dies.
We're all going to start recording tonight.
All the other guys that arrived later are next door. And the guy from, where is he from? Czech Republic. Yeah. He arrived literally 10 o'clock. From Dublin, all in the same day. So yeah, it looks like they're having a party next door, but yeah, we're going to try and get some sleep. We'll let you know how it was in the morning.
I'm mummified.
Where is Luna?
We're going to wake up as beautiful butterflies.
Oh, Luna. Good night, Luna. As you can hear next door, you can hear the guys over there.
Moments later, Luna, normally playful, grew tense. She paced restlessly, refusing to leave their side, staring toward the darkness outside. With the image of the face still fresh in their minds, her behavior deepened the unease inside the shelter. The night eventually passed without further incident, but the memory lingered. A once cozy evening had been transformed by a fleeting face at the window and the dog's strange reaction, leaving the group with a haunting reminder of the legends tied to Dulin Bothy. The next horrifying video comes from Sidestep, Adventures into History, a US-based YouTube channel dedicated to urban exploration with a historical edge. Led by Dan and Robert, the channel documents abandoned or decaying structures across the United States, blending historical detail with the suspense of exploring forgotten places. It is October 16, 2023, when Robert and Dan explored the old Willis place, a historic abandoned house in Waverly Hall, Georgia. Vacant since the early 1960s, the property had remained untouched for decades, holding both relics of the past and a heavy, unsettling atmosphere.
What is that? Oh, that's weird. Here.
Robert and Dan circled the property, examining its features: the board and batten walls, whitewashed fireplaces, and aging chimneys. They studied the yard, steps, and stone walls, noting details that hinted at the home's long-forgotten life. The stillness of the woods and the slow decay of the structure added to a growing unease.
That is strange. You heard that, right, Dan?
Yes, I did.
That was weird. All right, that's enough of this old house for a minute. We're gonna go look at something else.
Hello?
Crawling beneath the house, they found relics from another era: a child's spoon, a 1958 Coca-Cola bottle, and beams revealing phases of construction across decades. Down in the crawl space, every sound was amplified: the scrape of dust, the creak of shifting wood, the heavy silence pressing in. Dark corners seemed to watch as they documented the remains.
Oh, it's just like footsteps.
It's not funny.
No.
All right, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Then came the footsteps, distinct, deliberate, moving across the floorboards above them. Robert froze, scanning the ceiling with his light. Dan whispered back, confirming he heard them too. The noises continued, intermittent and human-like, until the tension became unbearable. Unsure if they were structural or something far stranger, the pair carefully backed out from under the house. Shaken, Robert and Dan decided to leave altogether. What began as a historical investigation ended as a hurried retreat, the footsteps convincing them that the old Willis place was far more unsettling than they had expected. Its history remains preserved, but its atmosphere, heavy, watchful, and unexplainable, lingers long after the explorer's departure. Sorry to interrupt the video, but if you're enjoying it, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and right now, 80% of viewers aren't subscribed. So if you're one of them, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really means a lot. Your support helps us continue creating awesome, creepy videos. Now, let's get back to the video. The next chilling video comes from Outdoor Girl Sophie, a Denmark-based YouTube creator who documents her outdoor adventures. Her channel highlights hiking, wild camping, and exploring natural landscapes across Europe, often contrasting the rules of outdoor life in Denmark with the greater freedoms of wild camping in Scotland. It is May 6, 2025, when Sophie set out on her third day in the Cairngorms National Park, Scotland, UK. Her plan was to reach a hidden bothy deep in the forest and spend the night there.
And then you just need to stir it real good, get into the corners. And if you're feeling cold, you can always put this bag underneath your sweater while your dinner is cooking. So now the dinner should be ready. Let's see how it looks. It looks good. Beef stew with potatoes. It's good. It's like a mashed potato with some vegetables and then small pieces of beef. With a bit of cheese, it would have been perfect. Time to go to bed. We're in the sleeping bag, ready to go to sleep. See you in the morning. Good night. Good morning from the bothy.
The morning after a calm stay in the bothy, Sophie and her companion began packing their gear. The forest was quiet, filled only with birdsong and the rustle of leaves. Everything felt peaceful until her partner noticed something unexpected outside.
Went outside and he says there is a car outside the bothy. I didn't really believe him because we're out in the middle of nowhere. So weird with this car we have here. It's probably just someone working here in the forest area. Yeah. But I don't understand how he could drive here. Because the path we walked on to get here was super narrow. Or maybe there's someone in the car sleeping who wanted to be inside the bothy. The guy in the car.
A car was parked directly in front of the bothy. At first, Sophie didn't believe it. The narrow path they had hiked seemed impossible for a vehicle to reach. Yet there it was, sitting silently, as though someone might be inside, watching. For several uneasy moments, they whispered back and forth, trying to make sense of how it had appeared and whether they were being observed.
With his dog, and he left and drove off this way. Very narrow for such a big car. Everything is packed up and we are ready to leave. We're gonna leave our fuel here at the bothy. Hopefully the next people or some other people who are gonna stay here, they can use it. Because we are flying back home soon and we cannot bring this on the plane. And there's still actually quite a lot left. It was a good night staying here in the bothy.
The tension lifted when the driver finally stepped into view, a hunter with his dog. He climbed into the vehicle and carefully guided it back down the narrow forest track. Sophie and her partner watched in silence, relief mingling with disbelief at how such a large car had managed to reach the clearing at all. Even after it was gone, the bothy no longer felt like the safe haven it had the night before. With the encounter behind them, Sophie and her partner finished packing. Before leaving, they left extra fuel for the next visitors, then hiked along forest trails, pausing to admire the views, and even passing by a lakeside castle. The incident itself ended harmlessly, but the unease stayed with them. In the stillness of the highlands, their solitude had been broken, showing just how quickly peace in the wilderness can shift into tension. The next shocking video of the night comes from Ruth Icelandic, a Scottish YouTube creator who shares travel and outdoor adventure films. Her channel often focuses on bothy culture, hiking, van life, and exploring Scotland's remote landscapes. After returning from 12 years abroad, she now documents her solo journeys across the highlands and islands, blending scenic storytelling with personal reflection. It is February 2nd, 2025, when Ruth traveled to the Isle of Mull in the Inner Hebrides, Scotland, UK, for an overnight stay in a remote bothy tucked into the hillsides.
Oh, so this looks like quite a new book because there's some entries from 2024. Oh wow, no one's used it for a while. 21st to the 22nd of November. Welcome shelter on a wee bike packing trip after a day sliding around in plush of a chilly wild camp the night before. Managed to carry bag of logs on our bikes and had a lovely cheerful fire. Headed back south now after a week on wheels. Thanks. From North Wales. This bothy feels a little bit more empty compared to one that I stayed in recently, the White Lagan bothy in southern Scotland. I felt like the White Lagan bothy had a lot of junk in there. A lot of people left pots and pans and a lot of stuff behind. But this one seems a bit more sparse, a bit more minimalist, which actually I prefer because I don't really want to use an old dirty pan that someone else used, to be honest. I am so excited to stay here in the bothy tonight. Hopefully there's no mice or strange noises like last time when I stayed in the bothy. It's starting to get dark, so I'm going to get my bag in here and get set up. I just noticed over here there are fairy lights. I hope they work. Oh, that'll be exciting if they work. Yes! Oh my gosh! That is so cool. Amazing. So if this is water, it'll be great, because what I might do is go down to the river and get some water and then bring it up. Yeah, I think it is water. I'm going to go down and fill up this at the river. Picked up some water, now I'll head back to the bothy. It's starting to get quite dark now. It's 4:20 and the sunset today was around 3:45, I think, but it's taken a little bit of time for the sun to actually...
As the last of the daylight faded, Ruth unpacked her gear and settled in. She cooked, kept the fire alive, and tried to make the shelter feel warm against the creeping night. But alone in the silence, she couldn't ignore the thought that the bothy's old lock offered little real security.
But the moon is out. It's getting dark. I don't know why. When it gets dark, then I start to get a bit nervous. Let's head back to the bothy and have a dram of whiskey. I think that'll sort everything out. The views here are breathtaking. Sometimes when I'm in Scotland and going to places like this, it almost brings tears to my eyes because it's so beautiful. Like, quite dark out there. Right, I'm going to close up the door like that, and then there is this here, but it can also be opened from the outside. That is the point of a bothy, that anyone can stay. But I will bolt that as well, so if somebody does come, at least I'll hear it. Okay, I got the full big bottle of water. That is such a good idea to have a bottle like that in the bothy, and then you can just grab a large quantity of water down at the river. There's no phone reception here. I'm going to start unpacking my bag, getting the candles lit, and turning this place into my home for the night. I will show you some of the things I brought with me in my bag. So we have here a sleeping bag. This is a winter sleeping bag. It's actually from the 1980s. It's a vintage Rab sleeping bag that belongs to my mum. It has been tried and tested, so that'll be keeping me warm tonight. We also have here my rain jacket and trousers. Even though there's no rain forecast, you just never know. And I brought some tea lights. I've got some lavender smelling ones, so it's going to be smelling lovely in here. I have my cup. I have this little thing with oats and tea and coffee. I have a pillow. I got this from Aldi actually. It's not great. I need to get a better one.
Ruth focused on securing the shelter, bolting the inside door, while admitting it could still be opened from outside. She lit candles and fed the fire, speaking to the camera about the unease of being completely alone. Every creak of the timbers or rustle outside seemed to pull her attention.
Okay, maybe it was ghosts I was worried about. And I don't know if ghosts exist, but that's what I was worried about in the last bothy. And I didn't say it because I didn't want to, I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh my goodness, there's something flying in front of my eye now. Okay, anyway, I'm not sure. Yeah, I really enjoy staying in bothies, and it's really great that these places do exist. You can join the MBA, the Mountain Bothies Association. I'm a member. It's £25 a year. If you're interested to support the upkeep and maintenance of these incredible bothies all around Scotland, I will leave the link in the video description below. It is pretty cold in here. I just threw, actually no, I didn't throw the last log on the fire. I've been using this one as a poker and this is the last log. I'm going to throw it on the fire now. But the fire's been amazing. I've had such a good night. It's 8:30 p.m. now, and I've spent the whole night watching the fire. It's known as the bothy TV. That is the name for the fire in the bothy, which I think is quite an appropriate name. What do you think? I think it's a good one. But being here tonight, having no signal on my phone, drinking some whiskey, enjoying the heat from the fire has really made me think about so many things, and it's been so nice. It's been so good. Oh, it's been so...
Later, Ruth sat close to the fire, reflecting on past bothy nights. She recalled hearing strange noises on a previous stay and admitted a lingering fear of ghosts, even though she knew she was alone. Calling the flickering flames her bothy TV, she let the fire anchor her against the unease. The small rituals of checking candles, adjusting the fire, and scanning the room stretched the tension through the quiet hours. By morning, Ruth had found her calm again. She brewed coffee, tidied the space, and stepped out into the mist, leaving the bothy behind with relief and reflection on her solitary night in the hills. The next video comes from Dawson Toller, a paranormal investigator and YouTuber. His channel centers on haunted locations, ghost hunts, and supernatural encounters. Often filming solo, he makes use of EVP recorders, spirit boxes, and REM pods, while weaving in the legends and stories tied to the places he explores. It is June 8, 2025, when Dawson investigated Cabin 13 in Babcock State Park, West Virginia, USA. The cabin has a dark reputation and is often spoken of in connection with unsettling events from the past.
Did you make anything go off? Cheryl? I don't know really how to okay. I just realized I have full goosebumps, so I turned the camera around to tell you guys that like I just got like a really eerie feeling, and I have like full goosebumps, and then I realized that I'm actually standing directly where it took place. This is extremely secluded. This is about as far as you can go. It is the farthest on this path. I mean, there's the closest cabin's pretty far, which is the reason why he chose this one. Well, if you made any of this stuff go off while I was gone, I very much appreciate it. Now that I'm back, I would love to have a conversation with you.
While setting up for my first investigation, all of a sudden, I had this.
After a walkthrough of the cabin, Dawson set out his equipment for the night. Cat balls, a REM pod, a static box, and other devices were placed around the room as he explained his lone camera theory to viewers. Though the cabin was still and quiet, the air carried a weight that hinted something might already be present.
Is there a dark entity here?
Whoa. I just started, I was about to set my camera down so I could clap. Because I clap to like sync up all my cameras and everything. And that REM pod just went off. My mic is recording. Hello? I have
Almost immediately after beginning his EVP session, the REM pod on the bed activated. It had remained silent during setup, making the sudden trigger an unnerving start to the night.
What the f? I am getting... I just heard talking. But... First of all, it's midnight. Nobody would be out here. Second, I am the last cabin. It's very secluded. There's no reason for anybody to be talking.
Can you walk in front of the camera?
That's a very good question. Not only that, but unfortunately, it was so faint that this microphone isn't going to pick it up. There's a waterfall going on, and while you guys can't really hear it, it is happening. But I heard a woman's like talking over in this direction. Do you want...
Minutes later, Dawson reported hearing what he believed to be a faint woman's voice. Twice, from one side of the cabin. Standing in the silence, he felt goosebumps rise as a sudden headache came over him.
Guys, I thought after the second question that I heard something, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually, there's a mode on here that is voice up, which it basically just raises the audio. So what we're going to do is we're going to replay it without that mode and see if it's still there. And if it's still there, then I can review all of the camera angles to determine if maybe I shifted or anything like that, and we can determine if maybe this really is an EVP. So I have voice. The voice isn't on the up mode. Let's run that back.
Cheryl, is there anything you would like to say to your sister?
Okay, so I couldn't actually hear what was said, but there was a solid breathy something going on.
Cheryl, is there anything you would like to say?
In the loft, Dawson ran a burst EVP test alongside a static dome and yes or no box. On playback, a distinct breathy response came through, one of the clearest moments of the investigation.
There's a knock. Hello? Oh. It was me. Oh, I'm an idiot. It was me. It was the floor. Okay, we are right here. This is what happened. Where the static box is where the incident took place. The bed was about right here at the time. Now it's over here. And right here, it probably wasn't this exact rocking chair, but a rocking chair was knocked over on the floor, and it was made to be staged to look like it was some sort of crime scene, because what Michael claimed was that he had a stalker. He had been planning this for so long, it was so ridiculous. He got an insurance policy. He started leaving notes made out of newspaper clippings saying things like, I'm gonna kill you and this and that, claiming that he had a stalker, planting that seed, telling the family, telling friends, this and that, I have a stalker. So when he came out here and he did the horrific thing that he did, I just saw like that, the light, I don't know, it was like a lens flare, but I thought somebody was standing next to me for a second.
Later, While recounting the cabin's history, Dawson noticed a flicker of light near him. It could have been Len's flare, but the timing, arriving just as he spoke, left him unsettled. As the night came to a close, Dawson thanked any spirits that may have tried to communicate before packing up. His final words stressed respect. His intent was never exploitation, but remembrance. The cabin remained quiet, yet the unexplained triggers, faint voice, and strange responses left behind an eerie reminder of why Cabin 13 has such a reputation. Before the next clip, if you're enjoying the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. We're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and right now, 80% of viewers aren't subscribed. So, if you're one of them, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really means a lot. Your support helps us continue creating awesome, creepy videos. Now, let's get back to the video. The last video of the night comes from Exploring with Angelo, a US-based YouTube channel run by Angelo. His content focuses on paranormal adventures and haunted explorations, often featuring solo camping in eerie forests, abandoned buildings, and ghost hunting investigations. Blending suspenseful narration with real-time encounters, Angelo captures the atmosphere of forgotten and unsettling places. It is June 27, 2025, when Angelo traveled to a remote ghost town in Iceland to spend the night at an abandoned cabin. His goal was to document what it felt like to stay alone in a place rumored to be haunted.
Whoa. Okay, I swear that just came from inside the cabin. What the heck was that? Sounds like somebody's moving in there. What the f? Well, what if an animal got in there? I'm gonna check because I plan on sleeping in there tonight. That is the plan. What the hell? Just detach this. Let me grab my flashlight soon in case I need that. Somebody inside the cabin? Empathy? I haven't gone in since I checked earlier. Dude, there's nothing in here. Literally nothing. What the fuck? Okay. Okay, I got no idea what the hell that was. Well, that was weird.
Curse.
Curse. You just got the word curse. Okay, that was pretty loud. What do you mean by curse? Is this land cursed?
As night deepened, Angelo stayed outside near the cabin. The wind pressed against the old wooden walls, causing the structure to groan and shift in the darkness. While filming, he began to hear faint knocking sounds and movements nearby. What should have been the stillness of night carried an unexpected edge of unease.
Okay, what the f was that? Dude, that was literally inside the cabin again. What is doing that?
You are very kind.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Something weird is going on. I don't think Lomar warned me about that. That was creepy. Do I even check again? You know what? F it, let's check again. hell is going on in there right now? All I see are literally like fireflies. I think one is right there. Okay, something inside the cabin. Dude, there ain't nothing in here. Okay, what is, like, what the hell? Are you kidding me right now? That's creepy. Okay. Let's get back to the fire and see maybe if it happens again. I was going to change this battery in a moment. Blind? The responses are super weird.
The noises soon grew clearer. Deliberate footsteps moving around the cabin. Angelo called out into the night, but there was no reply. Sweeping his flashlight across the clearing revealed nothing, leaving the source of the sounds unexplained.
What was that? We gotta go check. I thought I was hearing something outside too. Somebody out there? Jeez. All the bugs are just trying to like get in here. Why do you want in here? I mean, there's no way a bug literally made those loud bangs. Whatever the f that was, holy shit. Well, let's go find out. Okay. Ugh. So many bugs in there. It's kind of driving me crazy. Ugh, jeez. So many bugs out here too. Okay, those are just toads and frogs. Okay, well clearly there's nothing out here that I can see anyway. Damn, it was really buggy and the friggin' fire went out. Anyway, I'm gonna come back outside for a second. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like really creeped out by this place all of a sudden. Well, I'm glad the fire's not completely out, but I don't know why I'm just...
Closer to dawn, the tension rose once more. Footsteps and rustling echoed from the woods beyond the cabin. Angelo listened intently, convinced someone was out there in the darkness, though he could never see anyone. The thought of being watched unsettled him, pushing the night from eerie to overwhelming. With daylight approaching, Angelo ended his stay early. What began as a test of endurance in a haunted ghost town turned into a retreat marked by footsteps and unexplained noises outside the cabin. His time in Iceland left him with an unnerving question. Was it just the isolation playing tricks, or had someone, or something, been nearby all along? We appreciate you for watching. If these creepy encounters gave you chills, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next drop. There's always another mystery waiting just around the corner.